it's still true. 2 months later, and it's still true. I really like, so over the course of this, that our enthusiasm has not diminished at all. What was the most rewarding part of starting You're Invited? So, Rachel, what do you think was the most rewarding part?
Oh, the Friday morning hug. Just being able to see everyone that I've missed so much, and to feel part of an active community where I can really, like emotionally, I'm like, oh, I don't think I could have gotten through the last few months without You're Invited, because it has just been such a glow in my week.
As this shelter in place has gone on, I have absolutely was becoming more and more withdrawn from and feeling so much more cut out from the game community. And what this has done is that, you know, remembering all the people out there who I miss and care about, also miss each other, and being able to have this every Friday it's the same. It's having that to look forward to so that I can kind of visit with everybody. Gives me a focus for the week and something to look forward to going into the weekend. And even having, I know like everybody's like, time is meaningless anymore, nothing matters, and
It's a good cap to the week.
It actually gives structure to my week, which was starting to get really out there.
Good morning!
Hi, everybody!
Friends, gamers on the interwebs. I'm Rachael Blaske.
And I'm Julie Ahern.
And this is episode 14 of You're Invited. And in this episode, Julie, VP and COO of Greenbrier Games, and myself, VP of Channel Marketing for White Wizard Games, will chat over a good cup of coffee, talking about tabletop industry news and a topic that we feel is important when you're talking about running a board game company, all the while discussing your comments and questions in the live chat, because you're invited.
Sponsoring this episode, we have Kids Table Board Gaming, and they just funded Creature Comforts on Kickstarter. They have their late pledge open already. In addition, they were spotlighted on Canadian national television for their most recently fulfilled title, Fossils. Also sponsoring by XYZ Games Lab, Arch Ravels. Get a little crafty in this competitive order fulfillment and engine building game set in this colorful world of fiber arts. Arch Ravels standard and deluxe editions are still available at the Kickstarter backer price until December 31st. Shipping in January. More on shipping in a minute. All this and more at shop.xyzgamelabs.com.
Awesome. And this season, we're sharing the love with others, as if you share the love with us. For every share of our posts, we have said we would give back to, with your generosity, I'm going to get through this, generosity to, with a donation to a community charity that we have selected. So for me, it is Great Plains Gaming Project. And for Julie, it's Girls Inc. Indie. But we have now we're coming to a close with that, and we have made it to 80 shares. So that means $1 per share. We are so close to donating $100 to our charities. So it would be amazing if you guys could use this one last chance to share so that we can maybe hit that mark. It'd be really great. So here's your chance. Let's see if we hit it. All right. I think you guys are going to learn a lot this morning, because we've got some tabletop news that is like super interesting.
Okay. So actually, and it's not, again, so we get things, and sure, this isn't quite breaking, but it's still pretty important. There is a shipping container shortage.
What?
Yay! There is a link below if you would like to watch the videos that are explaining what is happening. But if anybody is trying to get, well, shipping in general right now is, how do you say, a challenge? Let's just say that. We're on a show. So shipping in general right now, because of the holidays, people are being responsible, staying at home, not traveling as much, and so not going out in as many public areas, trying to keep everything contained, which means that they're ordering things online, having them shipped to their homes, having them shipped to their families, or having something, buying something, getting it, and then shipping it to their families. And that has created problems at the local level for shipping, but also at the freight level. Let me give a quick summary, and then you can go and watch it more in depth. But what happened was, COVID, where countries were open for business, and as they have closed at different time points, it has gummed up the works. So in China, things closed early. People were still being productive and trying to get work done in their own respective countries. And then when China reopened, there was this huge rush to get things manufactured back starting up. And so there was this huge wash of things that needed to be sent out at the same time. And then as they arrived in ports in other parts of the world, say the United States, those countries closed down those ports. And so those containers haven't returned in a timely fashion. And therefore, there is a freight container shortage. So if you want to learn more about that, there are links that give you some pretty good information about why that might be a challenge and what some future repercussions might be.
So interesting. I hadn't thought about the fact that the ripple effect would be that China would have all this stuff happening, and then because of the way the virus moved across the world, the places that they would then ship to would close down and get.
Okay, so think about traffic.
Yeah,
when you're driving, and then suddenly there's this the caterpillar effect where you come to a screeching halt, and then everybody starts again, but then they're trying to go, and then as soon as somebody taps on their brakes, it creates that backlash of everything stopping and coming to a screeching halt.
There's a traffic jam.
That's what's happening. It's a traffic jam, and that's eventually will resolve itself. But
especially when they're falling off of ships into the ocean.
Right.
Oh, man. Whew.
All right. So there's that. I had a couple of smaller ones. We have the new Arcane Wonders release of Sherlock 13 that they just announced this week, which I happen to have a copy of here. And maybe everybody who's watching should look for a post this upcoming week for a potential, since we have now done our share for giving back. We might be going back to sharing for, giveaways. Just throwing that out there. Keep your eye out for a post on our Facebook page. And then finally, for anybody who's out there who's job hunting, Pandasaurus had 2 new job openings that they announced. And while they did that locally on Facebook page, what I did was I took the job description that Molly posted, and I have shared a link to our resources page so that if you didn't see it or you don't have access to it, you can go to the link below and the write-up and how you can apply and what they're looking for is listed. So that is the news this week.
Man, and I love the knowledge that is in our comments right now.
Yep.
Because Marshall Britt says, logistics managers, learn the phrase, do you have any 20 HQs available? Look at that. There you go, guys. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pop this off. And just to remind everybody, always, you guys, all of our regulars know this now, but click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner, and you can choose to be notified every time we go live. And we'll also have the link to our YouTube account in the description box below, so you can subscribe and find our archive shows after streaming. Also on Instagram, I've started uploading it to IGTV, so you guys can find it on that platform.
We're everywhere. everywhere.
Oh my gosh. So, now this week we asked the question, how do you balance work and life during this season? And last night, as I was telling Julie, I wasn't this week. I was not balanced this week. And she's like, it's okay. Remember the glass balls and the rubber balls. I said, okay. I will take solace in that fact.
It's rough out there, friends. And so, yes, okay. It is human nature to, and probably for our own self-preservation, to remember the good things and think back to something with that lens of nostalgia and sentimentality, and think of all the great things and forget about the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
So every year, Christmas, whether it's those great moments that you had last year or the year before, or whether it's that memory of your childhood where that was amazing, whatever holiday you're celebrating, there is an expectation that you need to live up to that memory of an amazing time. In reality, you still have work to do. We're in a pandemic. We're feeling cut off from each other. So there's this added pressure to make it meaningful, whether it's for your, to live up to those times gone by, or for your children to feel like they've had a worthwhile, magical holiday experience, even though they don't get to see their grandparents, or you don't get to go see your nieces and nephews, whatever it is. There is this huge added pressure every year, but you would, it's a conversation that I was having last night where you would think, well, I can't go visit everybody, so I don't need to stress about it. It's an additional stress because you're thinking about all the things that you can't do and miss out, and how are you going to still make this an amazing time of year.
Mm-hmm. Or being okay with the fact that it,
or being okay.
That right. Mark.
So expectations really high, high, like up here. Reality, stress level, really high, like up here.
Yeah.
So it's okay. It's okay if this isn't the most magical Christmas ever, or if happy Hanukkah, this is the last day of Hanukkah. So if this isn't the most magical holiday experience of your life, that's okay. If you need to let some things go this year, it's okay. Mm-hmm. Is it hard? Yes. Is it okay? Absolutely.
Right.
And here are some things to think about when you are prioritizing for this year.
It's so true. And I would say that the other thing is that when I always have these problems, because I have this not just on Christmas, I have it like Mother's Day. I have it in my head that I'm going to be treated like this queen, and it never happens. And I will, for real, every time holidays, I do redos, because I'm like, I will go through Mother's Day, and then they will all treat me like absolute trash, and I'll say, cool, so redo next Saturday. So yeah, that's pretty much how that works. Did you have priorities, or is that my my planning idea?
Yeah.
Cool. So the planning idea that I had this week is that this week, raise your hand, guys, anybody who didn't want to work this week. I'm raising my hand because that was really hard.
I mean, there were certain moments. I had some great things this week, and we'll talk about that. But yeah, there were a lot of times where I was like,
that's the hard part. Like, there's lots of exciting things for work. Like, I really am enjoying my job, but I just couldn't get in my head because I had all these other things that I wanted to get done. So, hang on a second. I am hearing myself. Okay. So what I ended up doing was basically pushing things off, and then I hit down to Wednesday, and I was like, I did not do my Monday planning, and trying to keep moving forward in my week without that planning piece that I always do every Monday was almost counterproductive. So, if you are rolling with your week, you're having a rough week and you're behind, you still have to take time to plan, because otherwise you're going to fail. So the idea of
you're going to also not prioritize.
Right. Because then you've got even less time left. What can you still get done?
Right.
So
what is the high? And at this time of year, shifting your priorities is essential. Some of it is shifting your priorities towards what can I do to get Christmas presents out, or do I need to go to the post office to mail things, which aren't going to get there in time by now, friends. Just so you're aware, it's a Groundhog's Day present. Accept it. That's
sorry, guys.
Yeah. Also, UPS, not post office right now. United States Post Office, because they are everybody's slammed, but UPS is, I think, a little less crushed at the moment. Helpful tip there. But when this time of year comes around, I've been getting a lot of messages of work things that people want, because you have that mental, we actually have, in a year of time being meaningless, there is a specific deadline, the end of the year. And whether it's actually necessary or it's just an arbitrary, yay, we have a specific thing that we can hit. I'm getting an increase in emails, an increase in asks, an increase in, hey, can I have this before? What's your timeline for right now? And a lot of people are taking time off, so they want it before their vacation time, which is also a very strange year but let's put that to the side.
Right.
So how much of that is actually necessary and people are just doing it because there's an actual specific date, because there is a specific date, and how much of it is really something that you need to do, or you can say, you know what, I will have this to you before Inauguration Day. Let's pick something else to focus on. Something else, what have you. So the one thing that business-wise, I think is important to focus on as a business owner, a small business owner, before the end of the year, is meeting with your accountant and seeing where you are in profit and loss before taxes. So January 1st is a hard deadline for when you can do anything if you are at a profit and you're at a certain point where you want to invest some of that money back into your company so that your taxes aren't as high. You have to do it before the 31st. That's a thing that I would prioritize over some of the other things that people are trying to give me for deadlines in the creative process, because yes, I want to work on projects, but I also would like to invest in making sure that as many as my manufacturers have been paid before the first, if I'm at a profit, or I've given bonuses to my employees. Or if you haven't gotten that 3D printer and you have money that you at a profit that you want to put towards back into the company so that you're not giving it to the government because it's going to go either way. Now's the time to look at that 3D printer and be like, hey, Merry Christmas company, we got a new 3D printer.
Right.
And also resin for 5 years, whatever it is. That's something that I would prioritize over that last meeting before the holiday starts, that last, marketing push. Yes, you want to plan for the following year and you want to be ahead. But if you haven't done something like that yet, that's something that I would prioritize. So making your list and checking it twice. For what are things that are actually time sensitive and what are things that are nice to have before it starts, but really are not as time sensitive as they are. Just you're picking them because it's an easy win to try to get them done. Right.
And so my thing was kind of more, when I talk about top tips from this episode, mine's definitely all about taking the time to plan and then cascading into priorities there, because it's got to get done. If you don't do it, there's things you're going to skip or whatever. Doesn't matter how far behind you are. Any time that you put into planning is time well spent. So, and then Julie.
Right. So it's okay to shift your priorities, what I just said, but remember, so the glass ball, rubber ball analogy that we did last season, where you're not juggling 5 balls, work, home, personal life. It's 55, and some of them are glass balls and some of them are rubber balls. And at this time of year, some of those glass balls become rubber balls. They just have to, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
What are the glass balls? And don't drop the glass balls.
Right. Figure out the priorities and don't let those break.
Right.
For sure.
And forgive yourself if you don't get to every single one. So yes, Chris, who said that it's juggling, he liked the juggling thought versus the balance. Here you go. Here's your juggling analogy.
Yes, we've got the balls there now. Okay. And then the other thing was so nice. So I dropped the ball this week for our social media. I didn't get our posts up there. And so it was so nice when I connected with Julie, and she's like, it's all right. This week, it was a rubber ball. It's all right. But, get back on it. And I'm like, okay, now, because I was able to forgive myself, that because I'm such a perfectionist, if I mess up, I'm just like crushed. And so it's nice to have people that you work with that are super understanding sometimes and still hold you to a high standard, but still love you anyway. So love you.
Doing it. We're doing it. Oh, by the way, a shout out, John D just said that she sees people, and I just want to know that I channeled her for this week because I'm wearing my one and only Christmas sweatshirt, which she is the grand boss at. So I have my Eat, Sleep, and Be Merry sweatshirt, sloth, that I'm wearing this week.
I love it.
It's not true. I'm working like a crazy person still, but you know what I'm saying. Take some time also for eating a cookie every once in a while.
That's right. And I have a couple things now that we're I'm going to switch this back because there was some good things here in the chat, guys.
Sure.
I don't know why I can't think right now, but I'm going to go ahead and pop this back here and then check into the comments. So it's 9. I love that I just timestamp it now. Allison was saying she's got boxes going out today and is just wondering if it matters.
So for example, my parents are staying in Florida. I'm here in Indianapolis. My siblings are in Massachusetts. Usually we all go to Massachusetts. It's not happening this year. And we got a little late on the sending Nana and Big D. That's what we call my parents, Nana and Big D. Their Christmas presents. So they're getting some stuff that very likely will not make it in time for December 25th. But then we sent them flowers to be delivered right before. So from all their grandkids, so that they at least will have a nice flower arrangement on the table.
Right. Well,
from all the grandkids.
Last night I was like, hey, so I haven't sent your package yet. And I'm glad. That was the best part because I realized
the sales pitch was amazing.
I know. I'm like, it's an oops, but really is it an oops because I found like 3 more things I could stick in the box while I was cleaning. So I was like, really, your present's just getting better and better the longer it sits in my kitchen.
So much stuff. That one day I'll have.
Yes, one day. And then Chris said, I thought this was really interesting that UPS hired private delivery people to help people financially over the holiday season. I think that's really interesting. I'd love to.
That's great. I know, so for example, I said the United States Post Office has gotten crushed by the amount of stuff they've gotten. But also, I know on the East Coast, they have at least 2 different locations that, because of COVID, are down a lot of staff because they are sick. And of course, they're trying to also be responsible about how they handle social distancing while still at work. And so I think Maryland and New Jersey, there are 2 major warehouse hubs that have been and of course, there's a huge population on the East Coast. So going into and out of major hubs, your packages get there and then they're there.
Out.
Right.
Yeah, they hang out for a while.
And you have to kind of be forgiving of that. So, that's my running joke, though. Groundhog's Day present.
Groundhog, very nice, very nice.
It'll be a big Groundhog's Day.
Well, and then you could just say that it's going to happen over and over again. Da-dun-cha.
Right.
Okay.
So don't tracking numbers are currently, which by the way are usually quite good.
Yes, I love
Right
the
now.
memes.
There's the memes are great. It's we don't know where it is. It's arrived. Those are your two options.
Yes, I love that there was a meme that was like, stop refreshing the tracking number. It's just in God's hands now.
Right.
Yes, I love it.
I made my own a trebuchet with
Excellent.
packages
I
in
like
it.
that. I
I
like
feel like
that.
right. I benefited from this inadvertently, but
Mhm.
I ordered gifts on Black Friday.
Mhm.
So weird, I know. And 2 weeks went by, and I never even received an email confirming receipt of the purchase, although my credit card reflected the purchase.
Uh-huh.
So I called and said, "Hey, is there any way to find out what the status of this is? Not has it even shipped?" Like I was trying to be very like I understand there's a
Mhm.
whole lot going on, and they were like, "Oh yeah, that arrived a week ago." So this is 2 weeks after I had ordered it, and I was like, "Nope, sure didn't." And I'm here all the time. I don't go
Wrong.
anywhere. And they were like, "Yes, it did." I was like, it really, I'm not like, it did not arrive. And they were like, "Oh, well, we'll resend it." I was like, "Okay." And then they were like, "Nope, it's out of stock. Here's your refund." And I was like, "But
Wait,
Christmas
what?
present." But okay. Like, and I was sad, but like also, again, I'm not going to yell at the customer service who just refunded me. I can't, there's nothing you can do about it.
Right.
It arrived yesterday.
Bonus.
I don't know what, like, there's a part of me that's like, woohoo, free stuff. There's a part of me that's like, do I send them the money again? Like, what do I, like, I don't even think you can, like, how do you do that? I'm not returning it.
Redo. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I think I had that happen one time on Amazon too, but I think it was a trampoline. So that was a good win right there. So, so this week, we've had some fun stuff going on. My week, I just have to show you guys. This is my adorable son. This is Eli. He's a squish. So he is 11, and I got a Cricut, which is it's an electric cutter machine. Basically, like it cuts different materials like vinyl and wood and everything, all the things, paper, whatever you want. And when we had this conversation about prototyping back in the day, we mentioned that a Cricut could be a good tool. And so we were talking about wanting one, and I said I wanted one. And somebody messaged me right after we got done with the show and said that they had bought one on clearance and would sell it to me. So I got it, guys. And I have been crafting like a crazy person, and it's been really fun. So hand making a lot of gifts, things like that that is my relaxation.
Everyone, I've seen the pictures.
Oh, they're so cute. And
it's
so
intense.
I have this picture because he came to me. I've been buying beanies like crazy because they're super cheap, and then you can just customize them and they look cool. And so he came to me and he said, "Mom, I want a beanie that you make for me that says I am cold." I was like, thank you, Captain Obvious. But then he chose to use the freezing emoji, and I love it. So now he wears it every day. He thinks it's really cool, which if you have an 11-year-old son, anything that you do that is super cool is a huge win because
it is. It's a challenge.
Yes.
Nothing.
Yes.
You can't do anything cool.
Mm-hmm. Nope. I am not cool. But so that's been really fun. And so I'm having a lot of fun with that. So that's what's going on with me this week. Also, I've got this little thing that says open because I've been learning a lot at work about retail friendly packaging. And we're going to talk about that in detail on the show during, I think you said season 4 when we were talking about it earlier. But it's been really interesting thinking about the difference. And a lot of it's just in concept right now is like, what makes something jump off the shelf on Kickstarter? What makes something jump off the shelf in a hobby shop and in mass market? So And then what makes it jump off your website? I don't know. Like there's so many different things when you think about it. And I just, like I said, I really like my job and it's super interesting and fun. And so if you want to just geek out on marketing, send me a message. All right. Look at this.
Oh yeah. So for me this week, it's all about the approvals of products and manufacturing. It's been a very manufacturing couple weeks. So I got my proofs for dice for Tales of Barbaria. And as you can see, so we needed our regular dice to match the heroes, which they do. And I love them. And they're adorable.
So
and they
cute.
make me happy. And then in Lost Ones, we're doing, signing off on the miniature concepts. And so this is Kaya, our final hero of the game, and a couple back and forths about that and tweaking it to make sure that her outfit matched the art, matched what we were looking for. I'm really happy with it.
I was really excited that it unlocked at the very last second. I was like, yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So that's, manufacturing, which means meetings at all kinds of hours of the day and night, but talking about toys. So,
it's not a bad thing.
It isn't. So that's what we've been working on. And we'll continue to wrap up before we start our next project, which we'll talk about in January.
Excellent. And you have a shout out for us to go through.
I do. My shout out this week is for Abby, who is the co-owner behind the Envoy and Double Exposure program. She works to coordinate demo teams for conventions, retail, online gaming, and playtesting for anybody who doesn't know. She also runs Metatopia and DexCon conventions. She's an advocate for greater diversity in the gaming community and works tirelessly to increase inclusivity. And then she also loves cats, if everything else wasn't already enough, and has a very supportive nature about the trials and tribulations of cat parenting, as it were. And if that wasn't enough, she also does. You can set up sessions with her, and she will help advise you, give you directions, hold your hand. I love the metaphorical, hand you off the metaphorical tissue right now, and get you going in the right direction. If, as a small time business owner, you're not sure where to go, she's a great person to be like, hey, here are the roadmaps. Here are the signs. These are the directions. Which one would you like to pick? She's quite good at it. So shout out to Miss Abby.
Woo! So next week, we are going to be doing something that has never been done before on this show.
I love the qualifier. I'm like, never have been done before on this show. Right.
Right.
What are we doing? This is amazing.
I'm so cool. Well, we have pre-recorded next week's show because, I mean, quite honestly, there's no way I'm going to get all made up and whatever on Christmas morning. I will basically be in my Christmas PJs, and I am going to
I'll be in my Krampus PJs.
Yay! And I'm going to come in. I'm going to start the show, and I'm going to just hang out in the comments and chat and just take a minute from my kids because they're going to be playing with the toys. And then I'm going to just relax with my friends because some people don't have the luxury of having some people with them on Christmas. And we both wanted to make sure that we were here for you. And some sort of consistency is always appreciated when things are weird. So we have a little snippet of from the Christmas episode that we're going to show you right now, so you kind of know what to expect. We're going to be learning. We're going to be talking a lot about games that should be on your gift list and we hoped were under our tree. So here we go.
The criteria for what we were kind of looking at is, are they economical? Because we know at this time of year, there's a lot of spending going on and you have to be careful about your budget. A lot of different family members, that last minute, forgotten present, food, all of it. So making sure it's economical, making sure that it's easy to learn because you're gathering with your family and friends and not all of them are gamers. Are they accessible for either small groups? Because not all of us can get together at this time of year safely. So are you doing it safely in small groups in your family that are there, or for the whole family online? And that goes back to the easy to learn, because can Nana learn the game and technology at the same time? So you got to make sure that you're including everyone and making it accessible to as many people as possible.
That is so true.
So what was on your gift list?
Well, on my gift list, I have Circle the Wagons, which it is, I don't have it in my hands because it's always in my purse. It is a button shy game. That's awesome. Is the little wallet games. And so half the time I either have it on me or I lost it. And then I find it and I'm all excited all over again.
So first, Onitama, 2-player game, ages 14 plus, takes about 20 minutes to play, and it retails around 30. You could probably, I'm going to give you the MSRP-ish, and then of course if you find it on sale somewhere, I'm not gonna be mad. But Onitama, same kind of tapping into, if somebody knows how to play chess and they're unfamiliar to gaming in general, this is perfect. If you like games, it's a great path.
I'm excited. It's gonna be so great.
So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. This awesome session was sponsored this week by Arcane Wonders, who is going to bring you Sherlock 13 and many other games, hopefully under your Christmas tree.
You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Pinterest, and links are all in the description box below.
Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Happy holidays. And remember that next week you're invited.